Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows around world football this weekend. You know the score by now. Unfortunately, it was FA Cup weekend, so bear with us because we are going to talk about some absolutely rotten sides. But if you want some of the bigger teams from across Europe, like Barcelona losing and teams like that, make sure you go and watch ERU later on EFD because that's where we're covering Barcelona, Erling Haaland. But here, it's the FA Cup fourth round. Manchester City are our first winners against Fulham. It was submitted by Tamish Bahal.
Yeah, City cruised into their fifth round of the FA Cup with a 4-0 win over Fulham at home. The holders got off to the perfect start when they were awarded a penalty in the 6th minute. And Fulham centre-back Tim Ream being sent off. Not a pretty way to start the game, Jesus. Gundogan made no mistake from the spot before Bernardo Silva doubled City's lead in the 19th minute. It took the hosts then until the 72nd minute to further extend their lead by 2 goals in just 3 minutes from Gabriel Jesus, who's on fire at the moment in the 72nd and 75th minute, which secured their win. The Brazilian has now been directly involved in 11 goals in 8 appearances in the FA Cup, scoring 7 and providing 4 assists. He loves the tournament.
Not bad.
And his goals have contributed to City becoming the first team in the top 5 European leagues to score 100 goals in all competitions this season. They do it all the time. In fact, it's their 7th consecutive season hitting 100 goals, the longest run by a Premier League team since Man United managed it 9 seasons in a row between 2004 and 2013. But they won't be doing that anytime soon, will they, Jay?
Probably not.
Anyway, Pep Guardiola was pleased with the win.
They start really well. After 2-0, we miss a little bit some movements, more attack with intention to attack, but it was not easy because they defend well and high. Hopefully the next game against United, our fans can come and make our stadium full.
Yeah, City were obviously very good value for their victory. 70% possession, 20 shots, Fulham mustering a massive 1.
Jeez.
I mean, it was always going to be an uphill task, wasn't it, going away to the Etihad and trying to win this game. But it was made even worse when Tim Ream
help himself.
I mean, what is he doing? The absolute state of him there. And then it all kind of went downhill, didn't it? David Silva was very, very influential in the game. 6 key passes, which is absolutely incredible. João Cancelo as well. We haven't really talked about João Cancelo at all this season, despite the fact they signed him for, I think, £67.5 million. And centre player the other way as well, didn't they? Danilo went off to Juventus. But having said that, he did feature quite prominently in this game. 3 shots, 3 dribbles, 4 tackles and 1 assist. Maybe he's found his level. Like you said, Gabby Jesus has been good recently and was good again. 3 shots, 2 goals, 7 touches in the opposition box. And I think Pep's going to have to start relying on him more and more. Yeah. Next season in particular, when Sergio Aguero eventually needs a rest, he can't keep playing all the time and scoring all the time. He is going to eventually have to take a back step.
Yeah, I mean, his injury record as well over his whole career has never been pretty. And look, if there's one player who's going to replace him in the Man City squad, they don't need to sign anyone. They've already got him. Gabby Jesus is incredible.
Yeah, 61 goals in 78 starts for Manchester City. Absolutely frightening rate of knots. As for Fulham, I mean, they did fairly well to contain Man City for that 60-minute spell between the first goal and the second goal going in with 10 men, didn't they? Cavallero up top, he made 10 passes. Not particularly good display from him. Didn't get a shot off on the day and had just 1 touch in the opposition box. So very quiet for Cavallero. But Fulham, look, this wasn't the day for them. I don't think anybody expected them to go away to the Etihad and get a win here. Much more important, they focus on the Championship, and that's exactly what Scotty Parker is going to do. They've got Huddersfield on Saturday, a must-win for them, whilst Manchester City play Manchester United on Wednesday.
Big game.
Live on Sky Sports. That is a big game.
How do you see that going? You know, got any chance coming back?
No.
Now, just before we move on to our first loser, what are you doing if you're not subscribed to the Football Daily YouTube channel? Hit that red button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, our first loser, we haven't said it a lot this year. It's Liverpool at the suggestion of Archie Love.
Yeah, this must be the first and only time Liverpool are going to be included, and even that is pretty harsh given they played the under-12s against Shrewsbury, but they did draw 2-2 to a side in League One, so we needed a loser. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, you've had enough ups this season. We want to give you a down. They were in control of the game, weren't they? 70% possession, 14 shots, but only 4 on target. That's the same as Shrewsbury, so the little League One side did pretty well in this game. It started pretty well for Liverpool, didn't it? Curtis Jones scoring yet again. He looks an incredibly talented young man. I think that was his second goal in as many games. He's the first Liverpool teenager to do that since Raheem Sterling, of course, back in April 2014. And then Donald Love scored an own goal as well for Shrewsbury at 2-0. They're cruising. You think this is tie over. Classic Liverpool can put the kids out and beat whoever they want. But then the game changed. One man changed it. Cumdog, the Cumdog millionaire, who you might well remember from this video.
It's just sound, Gringo!
Yes, of course, that was Jason Cummings, who came on in the 60th minute and scored 2 goals in 10 minutes. One from the penalty spot and one was a lovely solo finish to take the tie back to Anfield, which is a massive deal for Shrewsbury, who are going to be experiencing a big old payday. And by doing so, the Cumdog became the first lower league player to score 2 goals from the bench in the FA Cup against the Premier League side since Hull's Nick Barmby.
Wow.
What a name. What a throwback in 2011. Shrewsbury, they're on good form. They've only lost 1 of their past 18 home FA Cup games. Shout out to the Shrews.
I mean, they know what they're doing in the competition.
Shout out to the Cumdog.
And as good as they are in the Premier League, Liverpool's domestic cup troubles continue. The Reds have now conceded 11 goals in their past 5 domestic cup away games. All that being said, they are playing their youth.
And most of those came when they got thumped by Villa playing an under-9 side.
Yeah, exactly. So take it or leave it. But this stat is quite mental. They have now failed to win away at third-tier opposition in the FA Cup in 12 of their past 14 matches, with their last victory coming against Shrewsbury in February 1996.
That's an insane
That's over
statistic.
22 years ago.
Even if you're playing the kids,
yeah, you'd
for the
expect one
last
win.
22 years, you're expecting one result.
Fair play to Shrewsbury. And they have failed to win a match after being 2 goals ahead for the first time since April 2018, when they drew 2-2 with West Brom in the Premier League. So one for the record books This draw might be detrimental though than first 4, as Klopp's side will now miss the inaugural winter break in the Premier League, with this replay taking the break from 14 days to just 11. But Klopp did say it's going to be the kids who'll be playing this game, and Neil Critchley, who's not related to Doogie, will be taking charge of the game. He also oversaw the game which saw Liverpool lose to Aston Villa, whilst the first team were at the Club World Cup. So it doesn't look like it's going to make a big impact on the first team squad. Now, I reckon this is going to be the only time Liverpool are in the losers.
From one team who are very, very rarely in the losers to one team who are never in the winners anymore. And I'll be honest, I feel embarrassed to say them in the winners category here. It's Manchester United, submitted by Red Devils. Oh, my word.
Yes, United hammered Tranmere, who were 21st in League One, 6-0. On the worst pitch so far this season.
Terrible.
It was dreadful.
Awful.
Jesus, the groundsman's got a job on his hands. To be fair to Tranmere, though, they had played just 3 days before when they beat Watford 2-1 at home, after the first game was delayed because of a waterlogged pitch. What a surprise. No, it was a must-win game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer,
Yes.
who has been under increasing pressure after back-to-back 2-0 losses versus Liverpool and Burnley at home. Now, this was the first time that United have scored 6 goals in any competition since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, 7 years ago. I mean, six goals is a lot to get, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's against Tranmere. Who cares? League One side. They're not
Fair.
even a good League One side.
Fair play. But United were extremely clinical. They only had 5 shots on target and scored 6 goals. For those that aren't good at maths, 1 was an own goal. United were 5-0 up at half-time for the first time since 2001, and there were some pretty decent goals, to be fair. Maguire scored an absolute screamer, and his celebration was a bit much. So
Yeah, I mean, slight deflection as well. Not sure it quite warranted
acting as if he
it.
just scored in the Champions League final.
Yeah, and Jesse Lingard as well, giving it this.
Calm down,
3-0
boys.
against Tranmere.
Calm down, boys. Dan also scored a really nice chop.
That was a good
The result, though, covers up some very big problems for United, though, who will be without Rashford for at least 2 months, McTominay and Pogba for another 5 weeks as well. All this comes against a backdrop of no signings. Ollie, who also told Man United TV after the game, we're still working on 1 or 2 things, so let's see if the club get it over the line. Grim.
And it doesn't look like they are going to get it over the line. Obviously, David Ornstein, aka the Ornacle, the king of transfer knowledge, reported this morning that no deals are imminent for Manchester United. And although discussions are ongoing, there is a realistic possibility that they finish the window without any new signings, which is just incredible for a club that is turning over £500 million a year to spend nothing despite having a striker with a broken
What's
back.
happened with Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes looks like it was done.
Well, Bruno Fernandes is the most heavily linked.
Okay.
However, that does seem unlikely now. Manchester United are refusing to budge on their initial £42.5 million offer. Sporting want close to £60 million. Neither is willing to meet in the middle. It's basically a standoff. Manchester United don't want to be held over a barrel.
Yeah.
And Sporting don't want to let their prize asset go for any less than they wanted in the summer. And Sporting are in massive financial problems and do need a sale. But I think they're looking at it and going, we could just hold off to the summer when more clubs are going to be interested and generate a bidding war, which is probably the smart thing to do. And at the moment, doesn't seem like that deal is going to get done. They obviously also need a striker, Manchester United, given that Rashford has been playing with a broken back
Not good management.
for the last month, and have inquired about Edinson Cavani. However, he's asked for £380,000 a week, and PSG want a fee of over £15 million from Man United, which is not going to happen.
Everyone just takes
because
the
United
piss of you guys.
United are now basically stuck between a rock and a hard place. Not only do they not want to pay the money, Edinson Cavani don't want to join the club. He's got his heart set on Atletico Madrid, obviously desperate to get out there, but PSG are blocking that move as well. They want closer to €30 million off of Atletico Madrid because they could well face them in the Champions League. So it's basically a fest at Manchester United at the moment that is culminating in absolutely nothing. No signings in January, with a striker with a broken back and no midfielders. Peak Ed Woodward.
Our last loser comes from @Hammerboy67, and they have suggested West Ham.
Oh dear, David Moyes. It's gone from bad to worse for the Hammers, isn't it? Their dismal season continued after an absolutely shambolic performance at home that saw them dumped out of the cup against Championship side West Brom, who beat them 1-0. It's just all going wrong. Everything that could go wrong at West Ham is going wrong. Connor Townsend in this game scored an absolute beauty, by the way. A great goal. I mean, West Ham couldn't overcome a 1-0 deficit, even though West Bromwich Albion had 10 men, of course, after Semi Ajayi's red card for a second booking. The Hammers had 15 shots to West Brom's 11, but only got 3 shots on target. Seb Aller's form has slipped off a cliff in recent months. I don't know what's going on with him. They were just outworked. West Brom just clearly wanted to win this game more than West Ham, who just, quite frankly, were embarrassing throughout the 90 minutes. Baggies put in more tackles, more interceptions, more clearances. The victory was particularly sweet, though, for West Brom, because, of course, they're managed by Slaven Bilic, who was sacked by West Ham. That was his first return to the London Stadium since that firing in 2017. West Brom, yes, they are flying in the Championship, and they are an extremely good Championship team. But 10 men, West Ham, 3 shots on target. What is going on?
One of those shots on target as well is Declan Rice from about 30 yards out. It's ridiculous.
What is going on?
Anyway, despite his claim earlier when he took over, winning is what he does. Since returning to West Ham, David Moyes has only seen 2 wins now from 6 matches, with one of them coming against Gillingham, who are League One opposition. Yeah, not great. Scoring, though, has been an issue for his side since their 4-0 win over Bournemouth at the start of January. They've only scored twice in the league since. And these issues returned against West Brom, with £36 million forward Sebastian Haller managing just 1 shot off target in 90 minutes.
It's incredible. What's going on with Seb Haller?
I mean, even Jovic at Real Madrid as well. But while his strike partner, Albion Ajeti, also failed to make more than 1 shot. So we can see where the issues are coming from. By contrast, West Brom's pairing, Charlie Austin and Kravinovic, created 5 chances between them, with the latter particularly impressive, having completed both his attempted dribbles and maintaining a pass success rate of 87.5%. The only solace for West Ham is that the exit of the FA Cup gives them a chance to focus on their relegation battle, which they are in. There are some
Massively
Hammers
in.
fans who will not admit it, with the club only above the drop zone on goal difference. Meanwhile, victory will be a welcome boost for the Baggies, who had failed to win in their last 5 championship games, to see their lead at the top of the table drastically reduced to 6 points over Brentford in 5th. I mean, what do West Ham do? Do they just buy in January now?
I don't know. They're in an absolutely torrid state of affairs at the moment, aren't they? And the pressure on Karen Brady and the Sullivans and Gold situation continues. Fan protests left, right and centre. The squad looks depleted, doesn't it? Everybody seems to be hating life at the London Stadium. All I'm saying is they should never have left the bowling. Worst move they ever made. So that's it for this week's episode of Winners and Losers. Like I said at the start, if you want to hear about the likes of Erling Braut Haaland, Barcelona and the rest of Europe's big boys, go over and watch Euro Roundup on EFD. Zach, anything you want to plug?
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We have great fun over there.
Do that. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.